Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Joe from the Moral Truth. We are back at it again. Kobe, how you doing over there?
Hey man, I'm doing all right, hanging in there.
So Kobe hit me up today, and we've been we're doing a lot of just general topics and stuff. But check it out. What is going on, y'all? We have a lot of economic woes in the United States, and it's crazy right now. We're talking about. I know gas prices have recently went down, but from the summer months, we're talking about from March when it started increasing. I mean, gas was ridiculous. Like this inflation is going and it's getting out of hand, and I mean, there's really no way to combat it. I think that we're at a point now where you're trying to ghost it with the gas prices going down, but goods overall are not going down. I mean, what do you feel about it, Cole?
I mean, yeah, gas prices and all. I mean, that's cool, but recently I've seen everything starting to take like a dip. Like if you look at plane tickets or like hotels or things like that, a lot of things are starting to become cheaper. I think it's because everybody stopped buying it. Everybody stopped, you know what I mean, like going out, traveling, whatever, because everything got really expensive, and they were like, dang, because inflation. So I don't know. My big thing is on the inflation is what do we have to combat it? Because there's no, I mean, unless you've seen it, Joe, I haven't seen no mandatory, minimum wage raise or anything.
Oh, you're
You know what I
not.
mean?
You're not. We're about to hit quarter four. For the economic woes. Like we're going into quarter number four. This is the last reporting period for big businesses. There's nothing that's going to say we're going to raise minimum wage, and we're in the midst of August. We're already about to hit we're going to hit the fall and winter. We're going to have to wait in January for that, and who knows where inflation is going to be at. The interest rate has went up another 0.75 in that the last month or so. So we're up there now. So they keep on raising the interest rate, the reserve, and for them to raise it, they're thinking that it's going to combat inflation, but it really is not. It doesn't combat inflation. It helps the banks get richer. Who owns the banks? Who invest in the banks? The people who invest in the banks. Anything else? It is helping them get richer. Now the average American is not getting richer. The funny part is, if we're trying to combat inflation, just 2 weeks ago, the IRS made a statement that they are hiring more personnel to audit the middle American. Kobe, now how are we combating inflation if we're hiring more people to audit, you know, the middle class? Knowing that to me, the middle class American probably doesn't need to be audited. Is probably the upper class American who is actually, uh, fudging their numbers on their taxes so they don't have to pay as much taxes. But honestly, there's no way we're combating inflation anytime soon. Not not in 2022. Maybe we can work on it in 2023, but we're coming to a close. And it's really bad to say that we're trying to stabilize everything else. Yes, housing market is stabilizing. The car market is going to go up and down, but ultimately we still have a lot of work to do when we're talking about inflation because there's families out there who are trying to keep up what is with an inflation because why? They have to buy goods, they have to buy groceries, kids need stuff, but the price is still going up. It's not going down, especially on groceries. And that's one thing
Yeah,
I mean,
groceries and housing.
that, I
You're
mean,
you're right about the percent change, by the way, because there's
yeah,
someone in my place of business who just is buying a house right now, and it went up to 6.1% his interest rate. And I know when I bought mine, it was lower than that.
yeah,
So the
it's
interest
going up.
rates are definitely shooting up. Everything is still rising, but like I said, the local places like hotels and things like that, I have seen the prices go down, and I think it's because they haven't been getting as much business. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's because a lot of people do not have the assets or the funds to go out there and travel. Now, mind you, a lot of people like in the summertime probably got the mindset like me and you had it. Well, I got to pay the gas regardless. I still want to do things. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and do it regardless. And you know what? They got their money. The gas company did, right? The travel people got their money because ultimately, like life goes on. We just figure that we'll figure it out on the back end. I mean, it didn't stop you from traveling anywhere. It damn sure didn't really stop me. And it did, like, especially when I was going to Cali a lot. I'm going to LA and the gas is like $6-7, man. You know, now if I went further to the east, the gas are different, but you know, at that point of time, you're just thinking in your mindset like, hey, you got to pay to play.
Yep, exactly.
And that's what's crazy. Now, the crazy part you mentioned is the interest rates for homes. Okay, a lot of people out there are looking, and you said the cost of living is going up. Yes, rent is rising, and then you also have the interest rate rising on homes. Like you said, you brought yours at a different interest rate than he, and this is the thing that drives me crazy. If you know, you paid X amount of dollars for your home at that interest rate, and he brought the same home as you at the new interest rate, he's paying more for his mortgage to live in the same exact house. And that's what's going on right now. People who bought their house.
That's basically what happened, by the way. It's same square footage, same everything, but he's just paying more than I am.
He's paying more, right? He's paying more. And we're talking about APR percentage rate. You know, and we can get into the housing of paying down PMI, which is going to help, you know, combat the interest rate. You can do that too, but it's hard for somebody to come really out of pocket to pay PMI down to keep that, to combat the interest rate. So you're just kind of going along with it. But we're saying like, hey, now Smojo, who brought the same house as you back in January, February, got an interest rate percentage between 2 to 3%. So he is really making on his home, right? I mean, you just gotta pick and choose your battles at this point, you know, because like you said, you brought your home at that interest rate. He brought his home at that interest rate. Yes, he's paying more. All he's going to do is he's going to have to wait for the interest rate to dip to refinance or pay down on it. And I don't really see that happening. And a lot of people are like, hey, oh man, it's going up sporadically. But if you look at the graph through interest rates through the last 10 years, you know, actually the norm was 5 to 6. And it was at one point in time, I think in the 80s, it was like at 14%. Didn't even know how people were affording houses back then. That's probably why a lot of people weren't buying houses back in the 80s. Early 90s, because it was about 15-16%. Granted, back in that time, I think we're hitting a recession, and a lot of those things were, you know, combat, you know, the economy. But like you said, Kobe, like, how do we fight inflation? I don't know. We cannot print any more money. We've done that like twice already now, and I think that's what set us back. I really think that the reason why we're here now is just for the choices that we made 2 years ago when the coronavirus was big and we were giving away all this money. And now, you know, people in the house are trying to take that money back. Now, hey, Kobe, you hear about PP loans?
No, I'm not sure what that is.
So check this out, man. So PP loans, triple P loans were given to businesses back when the coronavirus was happening. Now, if you had a LLC, you were considered a business, right? Doesn't matter how many employees you have. You just file a LLC code. You got an EIN. You are a legit business. Now, with the PPP loan, you were getting money because your business was affected by the coronavirus. Now, each business got a certain dollar amount. And what that was perfectly for was to cover, you know, to pay your employees, to help recuperate some of your loss, to cover you down. That's why they call it a PPP loan. Now, some people were getting big money from these loans. Some people were faking businesses, man. Faking businesses and getting these loans, and they're getting access of from $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, millions of dollars. Now, Biden just announced about 2 to 3 weeks ago, that they are now going after all the people who applied for those PPP loans and got them fraudulently, and they're going to get their money back. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. If they gave that money away, that money is spent. So how are you going to get that money back? That money's gone. I understand where you come from. You can make them pay.
I mean, that makes sense that if someone got that loan, it's probably gone. But I don't understand why the administration or why the leaders of the country would make a decision to try to hunt down money that was already spent. It's almost like they made a bunch of purchases and already made a bunch of decisions, and they couldn't foot the bill, so now they're trying to find ways to scrounge it back, which I don't understand, because we should be moving forward, not backwards. Like, the mistake was already made. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody went crazy when coronavirus happened. Money was handed out left and right. Not sure that was the right decision. but we got to find a solution now, not okay, well, if we get some money back, maybe we'll be okay. You know what I mean? Like, no, we need to find a solution now, because I'm telling you, like, you go to the grocery store, what do you spend? $300, $400 normal for groceries, $200, something like that. Now it's almost double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it actually is. It actually went up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I complain about this all the time because my son loves Oreos. We love double stuffed Oreos, right? The price when I looked at the double stuffed Oreos when I used to get them, they were about $3. Do you know what the price of double stuffed Oreos? We're talking about the family pack. You know how much the price is for the Oreos?
Like $6-7 now.
$6-7. I better enjoy every goddamn Oreo in that pack right there, and it better be fresh for the money I'm paying. But this is why what I'm telling you is, you're saying we can't backtrack. I honestly think you're right. You cannot backtrack. We gave out so much money. We wrote so many checks we could not cash. And during whatever administration it was, because we can go in politics, but at the end of the day, Congress votes on all that stuff, right? The president's just there to sign it off if he gets the vote or not. Congress is the one who decided to issue out all these levies, right? And yes, we put ourselves in another deficit, and now we're trying to dig our way out of it. Digging a way out of it, is inflation the answer? Most likely not, because I mean, even I run a small business, and I can tell you, sales are not great right now for different items. You know, a lot of people are waiting. Hey, for a quarter, my sales are going to go up, because you think Christmas time, everybody's going to get out there and spend an arm and a leg like they usually do, go for broke. But I really don't feel like that is going to happen this year, because some people, maybe like me, you, and some general stuff, when we look at the finances, we're kind of being modest with our money and how we're spending it right now, because you don't know what 2023 is going to bring. I mean, how for you, even though you brought your house, how are you doing in talking about being modest with your money? Are you scaling back some because like, hey, things are going up, X, Y, and Z, preparing for just in case? Because I mean, technically, we're in a low key recession right now. So how are you scaling back from that?
Pretty much in a recession. But when I moved here to where I'm at now, from being on the West Coast or the East Coast or whatever, the wife doesn't work right now. Like, she kind of like lost her job, kind of sort of, not lost it, but we just moved, so she hasn't gotten her job over here yet. So being on one income, yeah, I'm really, especially with this inflation and everything, and like you said, being in a low key recession, I am very, very frugal with my money. So I pay attention to everything now. Like, I mean, before I probably wouldn't check my bank account as much, but now I'm always checking to make sure like everything went through. You know what I'm saying? And make sure I dot my I's, cross the T's, and that everything is where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And Oreos, like you were saying, $6-7, as funny as it is, but like everything has gone up. So yeah, I really, really have been paying attention to how much a pack of water costs. Water used to be like $3 at Sam's Club. Now it's $4 or $5 for water. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So
I got 2 packs of Oreos in the pantry. I chose them over socks. So guess what? We're going to have some holy socks. But nah, I really didn't. But you're right. It's like you're going to have to be modest. And I'm looking at, let's say the stock market. You're looking at the Dow and how that's playing. It's an up and down, avenue, because you don't know what's going to happen to your money, and it kind of leaves everybody in a state of awe. Now, what I do believe, I think a lot of people are just got used to it right now, right? Like, hey, inflation, what I'm going to do, forget it. I'm not going to worry about it no more. Gas prices are low, so I guess I'm saving on that, and that's how people see it. And that's like the pulling the wool over your eyes is, hey, we're going to lower the gas prices, but the goods that you really need, we're not going to lower the price on. And that's how we're going to balance inflation. Gas is down, so you're saving $40, which the $40 you can use to your grocery bill that's already inflated times 2, that goes up every month, because every month there's something being inflated. And I'm scared that when you get to the holidays, and you have kids, Kobe, you're going to go out there Christmas shopping, I guarantee those Christmas gifts are going to be inflated. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, I guarantee the price. Be really expensive. That's why you got to buy throughout the year, though.
I mean, well, how do you buy throughout the year when you're in right now when you're coming out to summer? And I guarantee that people have summer vacations, trips, and everything like that. You plan them out, it changes your whole dynamic of how much money you have to spend. So how do you do that? Because like you said, if we're still inflating, and that's what we're doing, because at least every 2 weeks or a week, if you go into Walmart, you will, if you, especially, or any grocery store, you will notice the groceries are gradually raising every week. Whether it's 25 cents, 50 cents, a dollar, they're raising. That's and done intentionally, because somebody's getting their money. At the end of the day, somebody is getting their money. Because last time I checked, there's no shortage on eggs, there's no shortage on chicken, damn sure no shortage on cows. So then why are we being affected for these groceries?
I just think it's the general cost for whatever the company's got to pay to produce the product, or some of them might be doing like you said. And I mean, you didn't really say it, but there were certain businesses at LLCs that were getting payday loans and whatever, but they were getting loans because of COVID and all that. And some of them were kind of like, not being so true to it, and I guess being fraudulent. It could be the same way. I mean, the people that make Oreos or whatever, the company that produces them.
Nabisco, I'm calling you out. Nabisco, you make Oreos, damn it.
Yeah, so like if they're making the Oreos or whatever, they could say, oh, the cost went up $2 or something because of gas and everything. It might not have. They might just use it as a crutch.
Okay, I get
it's inflation. You know what I mean? So I bet you there's some businesses out there that are just using this as a crutch to increase their price. Because how many businesses out there do you think when they first start up, they might have a low price, right? But the more demand, right, the more supply demand, the higher their price goes because of the demand of the product, because of how popular it is and so on. So how many of these soda brand companies or Oreo companies or day-to-day companies do you think have been waiting to increase their price? And we just gave them a reason. See what I'm saying?
Well, and
to get rich.
It's supply and demand.
Rich than they already are.
All right, it's supply and demand. Also, check this out. And I understand what you're saying, logistic-wise, you got to ship the goods to the location with gas prices. But we also have what companies are doing. Remember when the PS5 launched a few months back with the Xbox?
Yep.
And they're saying they are limited quantities. This was last year Christmas. Limited quantities. The Xbox came out. The PS5 things back in October, right? People were buying these things, okay? And I was the same boat. I was a retailer. I was buying these things and I was reselling them for the profit because of supply and demand. I would get one for $3.99, $4.99, whatever. They were selling upwards to $8,000 to $1,000. Now, you were saying they were hard to come by, but people were taking photos of Walmart warehouse where the PS5 was not even scarce. Like, they were sitting on pallets. It was just that people were controlling the market. And that's what I think is going on now. We have companies controlling the market and creating this craze for something. Or it's the supply and demand thing. And what it is guess what? We, the general public, we demand groceries, food. Got it. We're going to give it to you. We're going to increase the prices. Because if by raising the APR or the interest rate, the national interest rate, that goes up again, and for 3 months now has went up, 3 to 4 months has went up. That was supposed to combat inflation. So how did it really combat inflation? That every time it goes up, the price of goods go up too. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like somewhere along the line, the money's already been made to combat their portion of inflation or whatever they're saying that they have to get and gain. But it keeps going up. So I think that at this point in time, it's become more of a greed, if you would. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely agree, man. I think we, as the general public, we have to be smart about our finances, and that's one part that they don't teach you in school is your finances. You have to learn through like your parents, or sometimes you just learn through hard strokes in life. But this is the perfect time to kind of figure out your finances, because we always say we're good, and then we don't know how to scale back. And now you're put in predicaments like this when everything is inflated. So I'm telling you, people out there, be cautious. Even if you don't look at the news, because the news always portrays a lot of things, I will still look at the financial part, because the financial part tells you a lot about what your money is going to do for you in the coming months, and what's going on in the general state. So I say have some money discipline. Control your spending. And this is time to start being a smart shopper too. And that's the only way you're really gonna combat inflation is, being a smart shopper. Is actually, looking for the deals to combat that stuff. So that way you can still save in the long run and it's not killing you to the most. I mean, Kobe, what do you got for combating this inflation?
Yeah, I would just say now more than ever, it's become like so easy as long as you have a job to like finance anything or like payday loans or whatever. But be careful out there and read what you're doing. Because like I just bought a house and I was trying to get a mattress, like a king size mattress to upgrade for the master room. And I almost went and financed the freaking mattress. They wanted like $5,000 for mattress. I mean, it's crazy the prices for a mattress that you just sleep on, which is really important. Don't get me wrong, but some of the prices up there, I'm like, dang. But I ended up finding a deal at Lowe's. Ironically enough, they have at Lowe's. You wouldn't think they sell a mattress, but a mattress in a box. I thought it was super weird. But it was like a $900 mattress, and they had it on sale for $600. So instead of having the finance, I was able to come out of pocket $600 to, buy a mattress or whatever. So like he said, like Joe was saying, pay attention to the deals out there. Be more vigilant in how you spend and what you spend, and think about, adding another payment and that interest that's going to be there. Try to buy things out of pocket if you can.
Definitely. Hey. Once again, appreciate y'all listening to the Moral Truth Podcast. Great topics coming. Me and Kobe getting in the lab and, getting some more gossip and good things out there to stimulate the mind and good vibes. Hey, hit us up on the email, themoraltruth, Joe and Kobe @gmail. Hit us up on TikTok, the same thing, YouTube. Hey, been great hollering at y'all. Till the next time.